Welcome, my friends. Today, we are beginning something very special, a journey into English that is designed for real beginners. Maybe you feel shy. Maybe you feel embarrassed when you speak. Maybe people ask you something in English and your brain feels empty, like all your words disappeared. I know that feeling. Many students feel the same way, and in today's lesson, my job is simple. I am your teacher, your guide, and your supporter. I want to make English feel easier, friendlier, and finally possible for you. You do not need fancy vocabulary. You do not need perfect grammar. You only need small, simple steps, and we will take them together. Let me introduce you to someone. His name is Daniel. When Daniel first started learning English, he felt scared. In class, when the teacher asked a question, Daniel looked down. He did not want to speak. His heart beat fast. His hands shook. He thought, everyone will laugh if I make a mistake. At the store, if someone spoke English to him, he pretended he didn't hear. On the phone, he avoided conversations. He always felt stuck, like English was a mountain too high to climb. But the truth is, Daniel did not lack intelligence. He only lacked confidence, practice, and guidance. Now I want to talk directly to you as your teacher. I promise something. In this lesson, and in future episodes, I will make English slow, clear, and friendly. We will practice real conversation, not boring textbook sentences that nobody uses. I don't want you to memorize rules. I want you to speak. Even if your pronunciation is not perfect, even if your grammar is not perfect, it is okay. Mistakes are not your enemy. Mistakes are your teachers. Now let's move into real conversation practice, the kind that helps beginners truly feel the rhythm of English. Imagine we are in class together. I ask the first question, but instead of stopping and labeling it like a script, I guide the student gently. I ask for a name, and the student answers confidently, saying, "My name is Daniel." I respond with calm encouragement, explaining that this answer is clear, simple, and exactly what we need at this level. Then I continue and ask where he is from. He tells me he is from Ethiopia, and I remind him to slow down, to feel every word, repeating softly, "I am from Ethiopia." The goal here is not speed. The goal is comfort and control. I ask whether he speaks English, and he answers honestly that he speaks only a little, and that he is still learning. I highlight how powerful that sentence is, because it shows honesty, effort, and courage. We continue practicing daily conversation. I ask how he is today, and he replies politely that he is fine and thanks me, then asks how I am. I model that this small exchange builds connection. Then I ask what he does, and he answers proudly that he is a student. I explain that short, simple sentences are not weak. They are strong building blocks. We repeat these ideas again and again, not rushing, not forcing, but building real confidence. With every repetition, English becomes less frightening. It begins to sound familiar. It begins to feel natural. And slowly, Daniel, just like every beginner listening, discovers that English is not a mountain to fear, but a journey to walk step by step. After some time, Daniel began to change the way he thought. Instead of saying, "I am bad at English," he started telling himself, "I am learning English." That small change gave him a new kind of power. Rather than hiding from conversations, he slowly began trying to speak, even if it was only one or two simple words. When people asked, "How are you?" he answered. When someone said, "Thank you," he replied, "You're welcome." Little by little, he stopped running away from English. Day by day, his fear became smaller, and his confidence started to grow. He realized that progress doesn't come from perfection, it comes from trying. And every time he opened his mouth, even when he made mistakes, he proved to himself that he could improve. Now we move deeper into practice. I want you to imagine that I am sitting in front of you, speaking directly to you. I ask you questions not to test you, but to help you think in English. I ask, "Why do you want to learn English?" And you answer, "I want a better job." That is a powerful reason, because English can truly open doors. Then I ask, "When do you study English?" And you say, "I study every night." That shows discipline, and discipline creates results. When I ask, "What is difficult about English?" you reply, "Speaking is difficult." And that is true for many beginners. Speaking feels scary, but it becomes easier when you practice with simple, real sentences like these. Then I ask, "Do you understand everything?" And you honestly say, "Not everything, but I try." And that answer is perfect, because trying is success. Trying means you are still moving forward. One day, Daniel walked into a small store. The cashier spoke English. For a moment, fear hit him again, and he wanted to leave. His mind said, "You will make a mistake. They won't understand you." But then he remembered what we had practiced. Mistakes are not failure. They are part of learning. So Daniel took a breath and spoke. He said, "Hello, I want water, please." The cashier smiled, understood, and gave him the water. That tiny moment became a turning point in Daniel's life. It showed him that English did not control him. He could control English. He walked out of the store feeling proud, thinking, "I can do this." And I want you to experience that same moment, that feeling when you finally see your own progress. Let's continue training together, slowly and confidently. Imagine listening, repeating, and answering at your own pace. We practice helpful sentences like, "Yes, I can help you," and "Yes, I like English." We talk about whether you learn alone or with a teacher, and you proudly say, "I am learning with a teacher." And I tell you that I am happy to be part of your journey. We also talk honestly about emotions. When I ask whether you feel nervous when speaking, you admit that sometimes you do. And that is completely normal. Even native speakers sometimes feel nervous when they speak in front of others. With each repetition, each sentence, and each new word, you begin to feel more natural and more comfortable. English slowly stops feeling like a wall and begins to feel like a bridge. Your homework is simple but extremely powerful. For the next 7 days, I want you to speak English for at least 5 minutes every single day, even if there is nobody with you. Talk to yourself. Describe what you see. Describe your room. Describe what you are doing in the moment. Say sentences like, "I am eating," "I am studying," "I am walking," "I am listening." When you speak out loud, your brain begins to connect sounds, words, and meaning. Speaking creates memory. Speaking trains your mouth, your tongue, and your confidence. Don't worry about mistakes. Don't worry about grammar too much. Just speak and let your brain get used to English as something natural. Remember this: English is not magic, and it is not only talent. English comes from practice, patience, and courage. If Daniel could move from fear to confidence, then you can too. Your journey may feel slow sometimes, but slow progress is still progress. I am here to guide you, to support you, and to remind you that you are capable of more than you think. Every word you speak, every sentence you practice, and every mistake you correct brings you one step closer to fluency. Your English journey has only just begun, and the most important thing is that you keep going, one day at a time.